Now on Fast Track, we take a look into what Purdue's police department does in preparation for Halloween weekend.
You do go to parties, be responsible, don't leave your friends, don't go home by yourself.
And a conversation between President Mitch Daniels and Brian Lamb.
Plus, what fun activities go on a tailgate before a Big Ten showdown?
I'm from Madison, so I know the area. I've lived here for 20 years. It would be huge to see us win in Madison.
And early voting at Mackey Arena, where many came out to cast their ballots on Wednesday.
Halloween weekend starts today. Good afternoon, Boilers. I'm Andrea Yu.
And I'm Jaden Rusi. It's Friday, October 28th, and you might be one of many Boilers getting ready to celebrate this spooky holiday with various events and activities going on. See what the Purdue Police Department does in advance for a festive weekend like this one. Fast Track contributor Josh Palmer has the story.
This is JJ Palmer and Chief Whitty on Fast Track News, talking to you about Halloween weekend, how you can be safe and how the Purdue Police Department are going to help you do that. We first asked Chief Whitty how a student could be safe at both the party and bar this Halloween weekend.
When you do go to parties, be responsible, don't leave your friends, don't go home by yourself, make sure you have a partner, make sure you have somebody that you're with. Don't leave your drinks unattended. Make sure you know where your drinks are coming from. Don't let somebody bring you a drink and it's unopened or it's already opened up. Those are things that I don't want people to get into the habit of just assuming, it's going to be okay. And they need to be aware. They need to be responsible and take responsibility for themselves in their area.
We then wanted to see how Chief Whitty and the police department were preparing for Halloween, and if that really meant any changes from what would be a normal campus weekend.
The shift will be on duty, which is about 7 officers. I wouldn't say it's any more or less than normal. It's the normal number that would be there, but they're going to be out. They're always out patrolling. They're going to take any calls for service that come about. Anybody who calls us for assistance, we're going to be there.
I then brought up the problem to Chief Whitty that if you do feel threatened and are being followed and have pressed one of the ETS call boxes, but feel like you need to continue to move, how do you deal with that problem?
My suggestion is if they felt like they were being followed and they were scared, but they wanted to keep moving, obviously, they don't want to stand there, and wait. Move on to the next ETS and hit the next ETS.
Okay.
Because it'll still ring into dispatch and we'll kind of be able to follow that trail and get to the person, and knowing that we have multiple officers out working can also help and assist.
Boilermakers, Halloween weekend is approaching. Have a fun time, but be safe and mindful. This is JJ Palmer with Fast Track News.
And a little later in today's broadcast, stay tuned for a special message from Chief Whitty to the Boilermaker community ahead of Halloween.
And now we're going to turn to our first look at the weather.
Fast Track's Marcus Truccio joins us now with what we can expect for the rest of the day.
Yeah, so today is going to be a great day. The high of 61 is pretty average for the season, right on par for this time of year. We'll have winds relatively light at 5 to 10 miles per hour as you're walking around campus on your Friday, but we're going to have a lot of sunshine. So really all around a good fall day to be outside. And as you go through the hourly for today, as we work into the late afternoon, we'll be up in the upper 50s, starting it off a little cooler around noon, but you'll have your high temperature of 61 somewhere in between 3 and 6 o'clock tonight. And then as we work into tonight, once that sun does go down, it will cool off pretty quickly. We'll move through the mid 40s. And then once we get beyond midnight, if you're out and about in any late night Halloween plans, we will see some 30s, especially as we get towards sunrise on Saturday morning. So starting off pretty chilly for your Halloween weekend and getting into Saturday morning for that low of 30s, but we will have more on that coming up in just a bit.
Purdue President Mitch Daniels joined C-SPAN founder and Purdue alum Brian Lamb on October 24th in Stewart Center's Fowler Hall. The two met for a wide-ranging conversation on the university's engaging recent history and other topics of importance to our country and higher education. After the Q&A between Lamb and President Daniels, students had the opportunity to ask their own questions as Daniels reflected back on his time at Purdue.
This week, I sat down with President Mitch Daniels at Hovde Hall to discuss his ever so close to retirement and any future plans he may have. Here is a sneak peek of President Daniels discussing how he handled the challenges of being president. You have had so many highlights. Have there been any challenges throughout your Purdue tenure?
All the time, of course. It's just a rule of life that if you bring big change, it's going to make somebody uncomfortable or even upset. And so everything we just talked about and many more I could mention were different and new. But that's what Boilermakers do. But as I've told so many students over the years, you just have to accept the fact you're going to go try new things and make big change.
Stay tuned in the coming weeks for a complete look at the interview with President Daniels. Gabisa Ojeda, who is known globally for his innovation in agriculture, as well as food economy, policy, and security, was named Purdue University's Presidential Fellow for Food Security and Sustainable Global Development on October 20th. Ojeda is a World Food Prize laureate and distinguished professor of agronomy. He acts as executive director of the Purdue Center for Global Food Security. He has also worked at the topmost levels of science and national policy. President Mitch Daniels said that the university hopes Ojeda's designation at Purdue demonstrates its commitment to his hard work to improve global food security.
Nearly 1,200 Purdue Global graduates celebrated their commencement in Elliott Hall this past weekend. The graduates came from 47 different states and 5 countries. The keynote address at the ceremony was given by Kelvin Gumbs. Gumbs is a Navy veteran and Purdue Global alum. He highlighted that even though he has had challenges along the way, his Purdue Global degree has afforded many opportunities which allowed him to confront those challenges with determination and grit.
We were really hoping to be able to tell you that Boiler football continued their winning streak, but alas, it was not to be.
The Boilers couldn't get past those Wisconsin Badgers, but there were some gold and black among the sea of red and white. Fast Track contributor Brendan Gorham tagged along with the Boiler faithful who made the trip to Madison. He shows us what it was like to tailgate in the Cheese State.
It's a Cheese State tailgate here in Madison, Wisconsin. This is Fast Track News traveling with the Purdue Boilermakers as they travel to play the Wisconsin Badgers, looking for their 6th win of their season. Purdue hasn't beaten Wisconsin since 2003, and combined with it being Wisconsin's homecoming, Boilermaker fans were extremely excited for the game.
I'm from Madison, so I know the area. I've lived here for 20 years. It would be huge to see us win in Madison, something that hasn't happened since I was 3 years old.
While Badger fans partied hard prior to the game, Angie Stanford arrived at the stadium early in anticipation of supporting her son on the team.
My son's name is Zach Richards. He's number 70. He plays right and left guard. Now, my son was recruited to Wisconsin, so we came up here on a recruiting visit, but this is the first time he picked Purdue.
Reporting from Madison, Wisconsin, this is Brendan Gorham from Fast Track News.
And although the Boilers made the game more interesting in the second half, we still couldn't quite squeeze enough juice into a full comeback.
Abby Plumback will have a full recap of the game a little later in sports. It's never too early to vote. Coming up after the break, we get an inside view of early voting at Mackey.
Also, the Purdue Fire Department started some fires this week. Stay tuned to find out why.
What does it take to be a Purdue tour guide? You've got to know your history. You have to know your facts. You've got to have that Purdue spirit. And you have to walk backwards.
Football. It's the best time of the year. You know what else is great? The world's largest and fastest mascot. You can't have Purdue football without the trains. Look for the Reamer Club outside Stewart Center, 12 to 5 p.m. on Fridays before home football games, for your chance to ride the Boilermakers Special for free. See you then.
Believe it or not, election season is already upon us. Mackey Arena was open for early voting this past Wednesday.
Reporter Sean English was at Mackey to catch the rush. Sean?
Mackey Arena is normally the home for defense and dunks, but today it was the home for democracy. Students, faculty, staff, and local Indiana residents were able to cast their ballots early for the upcoming midterm election. The right to vote is one that gives this nation foundation.
Well, it's incredible. I mean, it is the cornerstone of everything that this nation stands for, is that people have a voice in who represents them in government.
We interviewed Purdue professor David Sanders and asked him what brought him out for early voting.
I was able to cast my own vote here on campus. I'm a Purdue professor, and I was able to vote for myself because I'm running for state senate here in District 23.
Scattered in the crowd of people, there were many students heading to the polls to cast their vote, including many different students from Phi Psi fraternity who were helping in any way that they can.
I'm poll watching here, just making sure everything goes smoothly. We help set up, people can't see it, but we help set up all the voting machines, the tables, and then we're also just staying outside, making sure no political activism gets too close to the polling station, doesn't influence anyone's opinions or views.
If you missed early voting here today at Mackey Arena, don't forget you can vote up until November 8th. For more information about how to vote, visit purdue.edu/vote. This has been Sean English, Fast Track News.
Thanks, Sean. If you were unable to vote early, mark your calendars for Election Day coming up on November 8th.
Wednesday, the Purdue Fire Department, along with the National Fire Sprinkler Association and State Fire Academy, demonstrated the life-saving capabilities of home sprinkler systems outside of the Purdue Fire Station. The combination of modern synthetic materials and the time it takes for fire response to arrive makes living without a sprinkler system very dangerous, giving residents sometimes less than 5 minutes to react to a fire situation. Chief Kevin Ply spoke with us about the importance of this demonstration.
The year 2000, there's been over 250 students that arrived on campus communities and unfortunately due to a fire situation did not return home. And so we know for a fact that students that live in sprinklered buildings are much safer. One of the goals is to bring awareness to it, and hopefully, we have students that are soon they'll be looking for their housing options for next year. And we want fire safety to be, a priority.
Chief Ply also noted that none of those 250 fatalities had occurred in a building that had a sprinkler system. The demonstration is being displayed at Indiana University and Notre Dame, in addition to Purdue, to promote fire safety to students across campuses.
On Tuesday evening, students gathered at Purdue Memorial Union to play bingo. The bingo match started at Ever True Stage, Atlas Family Marketplace, ground floor of Memorial Union at 6:30 p.m. Students were divided into different groups to have an interactive competition. The final team who gets the most bingos was the winner. It is not the first time for bingo night at Purdue. It has taken place at least once every month since the start of the semester. Some students participated in bingo last month, while some joined in for the very first time. One student, Caitlin Parker, was one of the new players.
I think it's really fun. I didn't know that they did this until my friend sent me a flyer for it, and the game turns out. I think it's pretty cool.
The next bingo night will be held on Tuesday, November 28th, at the same place from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m.
So coming up after the break, we'll have your full weather outlook, and we're going to talk about Halloween weekend and what that is going to look like for everyone who has their Halloween plans. And when is our next chance of rain, and will that interfere with Halloween? And when will another warm-up come? Just ahead.
Being involved in the 3-year program at Purdue made it easier to say to myself I could get done in 3 years. The 3-year program helped save me a ton of money. Not completing my 4th year, I would save around $30,000. It will give you an advantage, if anything. Doing the 3-year program at Purdue has shown me that I have motivation to do whatever it takes to get my degree.
Hello all students out there, this is Purdue Police Chief Leslie Weedy, and what I'm here to talk to you about is I want you to be safe. Be respectful of others, be responsible when you're going out this weekend in whatever you're going to do. Please consider that not everybody wants to celebrate Halloween, and be respectful of others when you're out there. If you feel like something's not right, you're being followed, something happens or you get hurt, please utilize the ETS boxes, the emergency telephone systems, which are the bright blue LED lights that you'll see around campus. They're very bright. I know you all are aware of them. Feel free to hit those, and even if you can't talk to us, it rings into our dispatch center and an officer will be dispatched to you right away to assist you. And if you can't stay in that location and you feel you need to keep moving, just hit the next ETS box and we'll get there to help you as soon as possible. And those who want to be scared are going to go to the haunted houses. They're going to go to the scary movies. So please don't jump out in front of people. Don't intimidate people with your scary Michael Myers costumes or your Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger costumes. Consider what others are out there doing that night. They may not be going to a party. They may not want to be scared. The other side of it is make sure that you're prepared to help others. Make that phone call to Purdue Police if somebody needs help. 911 or non-emergency number of 494-8221. Again, 494-8221. We want you to be safe. We want you to call us if you need us. And if you see something, say something.
All right, first I want to start by taking a look at the full picture at what's going on around across the whole country, and not too much is going on. We have a low pressure system working in on the Pacific Northwest coast. This is one of several systems moving through the area, giving lots of snow actually eventually through the weekend for the Cascades and even up in Canada, and that will even work down to California. Once we get into the southern plains, Texas, Oklahoma, another storm system is brewing down there, bringing some thunderstorms for the area, but otherwise, apart from those two systems, we have high pressure dominating over the Rocky Mountains, and we also have high pressure up over Canada, keeping us dry and seasonable, at least for today and tomorrow. Tomorrow, Saturday, is also going to be a beautiful day, and you can see that in your weekend outlook. Like we said earlier, high of 61 for today with those lows in the 30s, but it's going to warm up a little bit for our Saturday, and the sun is still going to be shining, so really beautiful day for your Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 65 and a low only about 48, so really not too bad. And then Sunday is when that next chance for precipitation moves in. We will see the chance for showers throughout the day, nothing really heavy, but it's going to be a nuisance kind of rainy day, on and off showers. High of 59 with a low of 50. Now I want to take a look at actual Halloween on Monday, and we will see those showers from Sunday lingering into the morning to about noon on Monday, but they will break up and it will be mostly cloudy by the time we get into the mid-afternoon, and we might even see some breaks of sun for sunset. So not a washout for Halloween on Monday. We will have the chance to see those breaks of sun, but this is the kind of one forecast model to look at the precipitation for Halloween. And like I said, nothing crazy. You don't see too much yellow or orange or anything like that, but just some showers across the area. And just keep in mind, like I said, this is one model, but we will have those around until about noon or 1 p.m. on Halloween. But taking a look at your full 7-day outlook, once we get past the weekend, we do have those chances for showers on Sunday and into Monday morning. But Tuesday, things will start to clear up, and that is when we will see that next warm up. 67. That is above average for the beginning of November for Tuesday, with plenty of sunshine, and then Wednesday we'll see 70 yet again. So I think for the first week in November, we're pretty lucky seeing that weather. We just have to get through that precipitation, and lows getting up to 51 on Thursday.
Spooky season is around the corner. After the break, find out what's haunting the Boilers this week.
I mean, every year's different, but it hasn't changed that much. Our league is just ominous, and you better lace them up tight and be ready to play every night. If not, you're going to get beat.
The Purdue football team lost their 16th consecutive game to the Wisconsin Badgers this past weekend. Brendan Gorham and Lee Chao Shin traveled to Madison, Wisconsin, and took us to the scene.
It's a sad scene here at Camp Randall Stadium for the Purdue Boilermakers and their football fans, as they just suffered a 35-24 loss to the Wisconsin Badgers. Sixth-year quarterback Aiden O'Connell did not have a great day, despite throwing for 320 yards and a touchdown. His 3 costly turnovers stunted any offensive momentum.
Without question, 2 of them hit him right in the chest. So that was not great decisions, and it's unfortunate. But we've all got to play better. But it was not a great day for Aiden.
The Boilers were able to move the ball, totaling 55 more net yards than Wisconsin, but weren't able to sustain drives, going 5 for 16 on 3rd down on top of O'Connell's turnovers.
It's when you second throw your third game is a pick 6 and you go down 14-0. It's hard to feel fully comfortable. I think we had a little life. We were moving the ball, but just didn't sustain drives.
As the offense shot itself in the foot, injuries started piling up on the already struggling Purdue defense. Cornerbacks Corey Trice and Jamari Brown exited the game with injuries.
Yeah, it's very disappointing. So. Very disappointing, and we're better than that. So we've got to get a lot better. The depth is a concern, so we've got to get whoever else is up next ready to play and figure out a way to protect them occasionally and coach as well as we can.
Once Wisconsin had the Boilers in a 21-point deficit in the first quarter, Brom said the Badgers were able to do exactly what they wanted to do, which is run the ball. Braylon Allen and Isaac Garendo ran for a combined 175 yards and 2 touchdowns.
They're good up front and they're physical, and since they were in control the entire game, running what they like to run, that's a hard team to beat when you're doing that.
Despite the loss, Charlie Jones caught another 10 balls for 107 yards, while Devin Mockabee continued to make a big impact offensively, running for his third 100-plus yard game in the last 4 games.
We had a lot of success inside, just reading my gaps and making sure that I knew to just throw it up in there where I saw it, so just be confident what I'm doing.
The Purdue Boilermakers play next Saturday against the Iowa Hawkeyes. This is Brendan Gorham reporting for Fast Track News.
Speaking of football, welcome to Bye Week, Boilers. While the team takes a week to regroup and rest, we'll be taking a look at the season so far. Quarterback Aiden O'Connell ranks 6th in the country with 324 passing yards per game. O'Connell's favorite target has been receiver Charlie Jones, who has become one of the league's most productive pass catchers after transferring from Iowa. He ranks 1st in the Big Ten in catches per game, as well as averaging 105 receiving yards per game. Making giant strides for the Boilermakers this season is redshirt freshman Devin Mockabee, who leads the team with 561 yards, rushing, and 6 touchdowns. The Boilermakers have 4 games remaining in the 2022 season, including Iowa, Illinois, Northwestern, and Indiana. A championship appearance is still on the table, but Purdue must sweep November to clinch the West. While a short trip to Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship game is more than ideal, at the very least, Purdue is on track to being bowl eligible. Nashville for the 3rd time? Probably not. The team's fate is a mystery, but the bye comes at a good time. Rest up, boys. You're going to need it. Former Purdue guard Jaden Ivey returned to Indiana last Saturday in the Pistons-Pacers matchup. Ivey recorded 17 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists for the Pistons in a 124-115 loss at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Despite wearing the opposing colors this time around, the former Purdue star had plenty of fans cheering him on. Among those in the stands was Purdue men's basketball coach Matt Painter, who spent the last 2 seasons coaching Ivey. After the game was over, Ivey embraced Painter and gave him his game jersey. Ivey is one of 2 rookies in Pistons history to record over 50 points, 15 rebounds, and 15 assists in his first 3 professional games. Congrats to Jaden on an incredible start to his NBA career. Once a Boilermaker, always a Boilermaker. The Purdue soccer team concluded its 2022 season with a 3-1 loss to Maryland last Sunday at Folk Field. The Boilermakers outshot the Terrapins 13-10, though Maryland held a 6-4 advantage in shots on goal. Freshman forward Kayla Budish scored her 4th goal of the season, tying the game at 1-1 at the 25th minute. Budish finishes the year 2nd on the team with 4 goals and 10 points. Congratulations to the seniors on their amazing careers as Boilermakers. To kick off this year's Hollow Weekend, Purdue baseball welcomed fans back to Alexander Field yesterday for the program's annual Halloween Bash. The event featured trick-or-treating on the field following the team's 2-inning costume scrimmage. Baseball season is still ways away, but some candy should keep fans content for a little while. The ladies of Holloway stay steady at number 12 in the polls, despite their 3 straight losses. In their last match against Minnesota, 3 Boilermakers reached double-digit kills for the first time during Big Ten play, and 3rd time this season. Eva Hudson led the team with 21 kills on a season-high 66 attempts. Madeline Koch and Emma Ellis followed with 12 and 10 kills respectively. Hannah Clayton led the blocking efforts with a career-high tying 9 total blocks, as well as 3 solo stuffs. The ladies are on the road tonight to open weekend play versus Northwestern. Purdue will be back in Holloway Sunday to take on Indiana for the rights to the Monon Spike. The Spike has stayed at Purdue for 14 straight years. The team was able to hold off Indiana earlier this season in a 5-set thriller, but will they be able to pull it off once more? If they can, Purdue will extend their win streak of 20 consecutive victories over Indiana to 21.
Tune in next week to find out if they do.
Hi there, my name is Vikram Jaithlak and I'm the founder and president of the Purdue chapter of the University Blood Initiative. Over the past 2 years, we've been able to collect over 300 pints of blood to be donated to local hospitals, and you can be the next one to help out.
I donate my blood at the University Blood Initiative.
Hi, I just donated blood through the University Blood Initiative.
Hi, I just donated blood through the University Blood Initiative at Purdue.
Right, I donated my blood through the University Blood Initiative at Purdue.
And I donated my blood at University Blood Initiative at Purdue.
All right, it's that time of the show where we get some answers to our question of the week.
This week, we asked Boilers, what's your favorite Halloween candy?
My favorite Halloween candy is M&M's.
Kit Kat.
Kit Kat minis.
Snickers.
Anything with chocolate.
Reese's.
My favorite candy is Reese's.
My favorite candy is also Reese's.
All right, we're going to take one final look at our 7-day outlook for the upcoming week. And this weekend, Friday, today is going to be beautiful, 61 with sunshine. And then tomorrow, even warmer. So if you have a day to pick your outside plans for the weekend, I would say Saturday is definitely it with that 65 and sunshine. Because once you move into Sunday, that's when showers are likely. And it'll be a little cooler at 59. And they'll be periodic throughout the day. Some breaks in the rain, but they'll definitely be around. There's about a 60 to 70% chance for those showers. And once we get into Monday, those showers will linger a little bit into the morning, but hopefully by the mid-afternoon, they'll be clearing out. But once we get into next week, Tuesday and Wednesday looking beautiful, sunshine, upper 60s to 70, and that's continuing on into Thursday as well.
Be sure to check out Fast Track's Instagram to see behind the scenes and student life content that our social media director, Aaron Isaacs, has been posting.
You'll be able to see some behind the scenes from when Fast Track traveled to Wisconsin to cover the tailgate. You can also find us on Facebook and YouTube, all at Fast Track News.
That's all for this week's edition of Fast Track. I'm Andrea Yu.
And I'm Jaden Rusi. Thanks for watching and have a fun and safe Halloween weekend, Boilers.
Are you looking for a new hobby? Or do you want to have a fun evening with your friends?
Then come climb to new heights at the Co-Rec Climbing Wall.
I work for Student Life because I'm able to develop leadership skills that will carry over after college.
I work in Student Life because I'm developing time management skills and friendships that will last a lifetime.
One.
You're watching Fast Track News.